Before I met you, I thought I had everything figured out. I knew who I was and I knew where my life was going. But then you came into my life and everything changed. I found someone who showed me true companionship. I found someone who gave me unwavering support and always made me feel like a top priority. I found someone who made me laugh but made my friends laugh harder. Someone who instantly became more than a friend or partner but became my family. I found you.
I just want to start with Alec Botts. He is simply the best. About 7 years ago, I first met him when we were on the street in front of her house in Eugene, and she said, oh, there's this guy, we use him for his vacuum cleaner. A little while later, she said, we're gonna go to McMenamins, and I want you to meet Alec Botts. And I said, okay, and Sue and I went, but Katie said, watch this guy. Because there's something going on. I always do what Katie says. And I watched, and I watched, and I watched. And here's what I saw. I saw kindness. I saw someone who actually talked to her parents. I saw a smile and a twinkle every time Molly entered a room. And that's when I knew this is a special guy.
Molly, when we met, we were just kids. It was at a point in my life in which I was actively not looking for love. I was 20 years old, and like most 20-year-old boys, I had no idea what I wanted. That all changed drastically the day I met you. Although our paths had unknowingly crossed a time or two before, I'll never forget our first real meeting that Sunday morning at Barry's Deli. What you like to describe as revealing too early was really my first glimpse into your funny, quirky, genuine, and infectious personality. I knew I wanted to be around you.
My name is Katie, and I'm lucky to be a good friend of both Molly and Bots. I met Bots, as we call him, of course, when we were 19. My friend and college roommate at the time said, I just made this new friend. And so she introduced us at a party, and Bots was, of course, super nice, super fun, included me in all these games he and his friends were playing. He called me Taylor the whole night, so that's okay.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close enough. I didn't care. I was just being included, so that's all I cared about. And we started all hanging out, and Bots and Molly, of course, met and started hanging out. And a few months later, my college roommate approached me again and said, okay, don't tell anybody this, but Bots has the biggest crush on Molly. And I immediately told Molly.
You're looking out. From this point on in my life, I knew that my entire social life revolved around finding any excuse to run into you. Whether it was pestering Katie to invite me to your parties, throwing parties of my own solely to have a reason to see you, or becoming the #1 a cappella fan that I came to know. I did all these things to spend time with you. When I reflect on this time in our lives, it's really funny to think of how many of these seemed so insignificant at the time, but they really could not have been more significant. It was all of these little moments that caused me to fall deeply in love with you.
We were so young when we met, but there was never a doubt in my mind or heart that this was it. And when you told me when I was 20 years old that you wanted to be with me forever, I knew it was true. Because for me, love begins and ends with you. You love me despite the flaws I find in myself. You've made me a more compassionate, loving, and patient person. You're the only person I want to come home to because you make any ordinary day extraordinary just by loving me.
I'm Ron Botts, and this is my wife, Terry Botts. I'm going to try to do something from memory. Friday night, it was late, I was walking you home. We got down to the gate, and I was dreaming of the night. Would it turn out right? How to tell you, girl, I want to build my world around you. Tell you that it's true. I want to make you understand I'm talking about a lifetime plan. The Little River Band said it very, very well. This is a lifetime plan. And it is true. So last night I told a few of you at dinner that we love Molly J, and we've changed our minds tonight. We love Molly B. And we are so lucky that Alec and Molly fell in love.
I officially met Alec for the first time at the Civil War football game in 2010. From that day on, I figured Alec was pretty on board with Molly and all of us, since I suggested maybe the three of us just go into the family bathroom and skip the lines. So we're all still here.
I actually first met Molly when we were 11. We were in Mr. Gregg's homeroom class together. And one of my earliest memories of Molly is we went to an assembly together, and we were sitting behind these two really popular and really cute older 8th grade boys, and they were being really rambunctious and rowdy and rude and making fun of the presenter as he was actually presenting. And without even skipping a beat, Molly leaned forward and tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Yuck it up, clowns." And they stopped. They listened to this little 11-year-old girl who called them out. And I knew right then and there that this was probably somebody that you would want on your team.
Their love came unexpected, fast and hard. Really that head over heels type love. And then Molly came between them. I thought I had them all to myself for a while there, but... But really, Molly, you are such a blessing. You're one of the most beautiful, loving, supportive people in my life. I can't thank you enough for making Bots a great man.
I've seen an NBA final or two in my day.
Knowing Molly forever, I don't remember a time where I wasn't a proud or happy older sister. So when she was first born, I was able to bring her to my classroom as the coolest show and tell ever. When I was playing basketball in high school, we suited her up with pigtails and an honorary jersey to sit at the end of the bench and pretend she was a water girl. When I moved to Boise for college, she would visit, usually with Katie. They would go to the water park or watch like 15 episodes of Grey's Anatomy in a day. And when it came time, I gave her my Idaho ID to use, so she got to be the 27-year-old hanging out with 21-year-olds. Until it was her turn to be 21. But the older we got, she was incorporated into my friend group, and I in hers, because really we just want to hang out with each other no matter what the situation is.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you and thank you for gathering here on this beautiful day to witness this fine young couple become one. And as Molly's older brother, I remember going to the hospital and being so excited to meet my sister. I remember our family saying, "Are you ready to be an older brother and protect your little sister?" And the answer was yes. And even though my interpretation of that at times was flawed, I may have ruined a birthday or two. I've always been there for you. I've always wanted to push you to be your best. Everything from forcing you to pump weights in the garage to playing soccer and basketball until you cried. Fast forward to now, to say you have become your best would be an understatement. That little 7-year-old in the Winnie the Pooh overalls has grown into an intelligent, caring, witty, and beautiful woman.
Okay. Oh, Piddock Mansion card. This is where we got engaged. Oh, it's like Jim and Pam. Just in concert. Trailblazer. Oh, our first Blazer game. Oh, it's like Piddock Mansion. Oh, we want to get new ornaments every year. Our picture. Oh my gosh. That's really nice. Dang, that's good.
It was not long into our relationship, a month to be exact, in which I expressed my love for you. I remember being so utterly nervous that I followed it up by basically yelling, "Please don't say it back." I thought that was my clever defense mechanism to being shot down. Although a month may have seemed rushed at the time, I had been biting my tongue for nearly 3 weeks. So I'm counting that as a personal victory.
I honestly never really thought about Alec being the one or keeper or anything like that, because the opposite of that never even crossed my mind. I thought of him once at work when we were sitting around with a bunch of coworkers and we were hiring a new employee, and we were like, do they fit? Because I don't really care if they can do their job that well. I just want to make sure they're cool and we can like hang out with them all the time. And that's what Alec has always been, is a good fit. And he's pretty good at his job too, of keeping my sister happy. So you're good at both. If he's not around, most of our conversations revolve around when the next time we'll see him, what his family's up to, the crazy thing Ron Botts is up to these days. So when the Johnsons are together, it's only natural that Alec is there too.
We've heard that name a lot tonight, Bots. There's a lot of Bots in there, and there's Alec. Hey, dude who doesn't pass me the basketball. He really does go by a lot of names. There's the many, but to myself and my parents, he'll always be known as my hero. I would say the moment that made our relationship real is when I really needed somebody, like I've never needed anybody in my life. Molly, this is why I know he's gonna be your equal. He's gonna be so successful at being your partner. Just like I needed him, there will come a time when life throws you speed bumps and you'll need him like I did then. Obviously you can tell I'm a crier, so he'll hold you like he held me while I flung every last tear away. And after you've given it all you got, he's gonna keep holding you, and eventually you'll know that as long as you're with that man, everything will be all right.
Their love is also very apparent in their everyday life and everyday little moments. For example, after a long day at work or a stressful week, Bots comes home and Molly, without even having to be asked, gives him her trademark massage, which is with a TV remote. And I've personally witnessed Bots tell Molly to wait under the cover while he ran and got the car in the rain at the grocery store.
Alec, thanks, bro. All right, anyways. No. As a brother, you do worry about who your sister will fall in love with. Will he love her unconditionally? Treat her well, support her? Shoot, even push her to become better. And getting to know you over the years, I'm convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt, you are that guy. You instantly became a part of the family. And man, my parents fell in love with you almost as fast as Molly did. I can finally say, after asking every Christmas and birthday growing up, that I'm finally getting the brother I always wanted.
Me and Bots, we grew up in each other's shadows in the Bend basketball scene. We didn't really know each other that well until we met at River's Edge Golf Course, our first real jobs in life. Down in the basement at River's Edge was where we first became real good friends, and we shared some snuck-out alcohol shots when we were 17, 18. Probably one of the more badass things we'd done at that point, and probably still one of the more badass things we've done. Our friendship at that point grew and grew, as much as any socially awkward people could grow at that point. We both are very similar in the way that we stay close to our high school friends. We're not great at venturing out past that, until Molly came into the scene. Molly's maybe one of my favorite people on this planet. She has this confident, sassy, all-encompassing love every time she walks into the room.
Molly is just such a champion of the people. She's the kind of friend that cries when you cry. She supports you in every endeavor, whether that's a professional presentation you give or a play you wrote and starred in when you were 15. And Bots is just inherently nice. He's such a gentle soul and such a good person, as we all know. He's the kind of guy that in college would not only make sure his girlfriend Molly got home safe, but made sure every single one of her roommates also got home safe.
Over the years of getting to know Alec, I've learned that we're basically on a lifelong quest of switching up who plays third wheel based on the situation. So you play third wheel when Molly and I are talking about fun stuff, like who's our dream celebrity cast of the musical Wicked? Or if our family were the Kardashians, who are, and you're Kanye, so don't worry. Just so you know. Then I switch to playing third wheel when you start talking about super fun couple stuff like where are you gonna go to dinner? What are we doing for dinner? Should we go to Fred Meyer, Trader Joe's? Can you drop me off at work? But that being said, Molly is our rock, and she is the glue and rock to almost every friendship and workplace that she's a part of.
Molly and Alec are best friends. They share a lot of common interests, and they share a particular love for music. Going to live shows on average twice a month, and they'll go from everything from Beyonce and Drake to Wilco, all the way down to open mic night. But unbeknownst to each other, even years before they had met, they had gone to some of the same concerts only to find out later. So because of that, and instead of doing a traditional reading, they thought reading lyrics would be more their style. I never did believe in miracles, but I've got a feeling it's time to try. Never did believe in the ways of magic, but I'm beginning to wonder why. Don't break the spell. It would be different, and you know it will. You make love and fun. And I don't have to tell you, but you're the only one.
In the past 5 months, I've been over working in Israel, and I get the question a lot, what do you miss most about home? And there's like a first easy answer, like tangible, like I love the mountains here in Bend, I love Mount Hood, I love the forest. That's kind of like a BS answer. The thing that I miss most about home is the relationships that I have. It's the folks, especially like Bots and Molly, that they are home to me. I've kind of been a drifter for the last couple of years. I don't have necessarily a tangible home, but in my heart, Bots and Molly are home. It's when I see them last week for the first time in 5 months. I see Bots walking over with a stupid grin on his face and he's going like, hi.
That's just my face.
Or Molly, like I said, with that flush look in her cheeks and a little bit of a sparkle in her eye, just like a kind of a cry, and giving them the embrace after 5 months is one of the more special things I can have in my life. As cliche as it sounds, home is where the heart is, and you guys are my heart.
Good smiling. Beautimus. Looking good. And stop. It's finally here.
Crying. Look gorgeous.
You do too. My
happened?
something blue.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
And you're something old.
I know.
That's fabulous.
Right?
Yep. Are you feeling fabulous?
Yeah.
Bots is a lucky boy.
Isn't he?
Okay, Molly. Molly said, I don't want anything cheesy. Well, here it is. You are the true joy in my life. And when I think about Molly, I think about when I come home from work every day, and here comes this little girl running down the hall and going, Daddy's home, Daddy's home. And that's what I remember. I'm so proud of you for the wonderful person you have become. You're loyal to your friends. You're kind. You're a stand for social justice. And you're just plain fun person. I'm always going to have your back. I'll always be there. And for you, I'm going to go with Stevie Wonder. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around. You are the apple of my eye. I love you, Molly. Your mom and I love you. And here's to Molly Johnson.
Molly did a good job of picking the only boyfriend we have ever known about, or perhaps she's ever had, to keep forever. We're not sure. I'm so proud of you, Malls, and even more happy to be here today by your side while you marry our third wheel. So I'll end with a quote from Wicked, because of course that's how it has to be. So, happy is what happens when all of your dreams come true. Cheers. Love you guys.
Over all of the years that we've been together, my love has grown for you every single day. You are my love, you are my best friend, and you're my partner for life. I promise to always hold you after a tough day and always celebrate with you after good days. I promise to always be honest with you and to always trust you. I promise I will learn to love musicals. I promise that I'm going to be the best dad for our future children. And I promise to love you forever.
You're the best friend I or anyone else could ever have, and we're all spoiled to know you. To put it simply, I adore you. All I'll ever want is to make you happy. So I solemnly swear to make you laugh even when you don't want to, always build you up and never put you down, and continue to grow with you just as we grew up together. I think it's fairly obvious that choosing you was never a choice. I'm yours and you're mine, and that's it, forever. I love you.
You're the guy that this dad always dreamed about for Molly. So in the spirit of books and musicals and songs, I'm going to take a quote from Alexander Hamilton. So with all of that I've said, if you even try it, I am not throwing away my bots. I am not throwing away my bots. He's professed his love for Molly, and I know it, and that's not folly, and I'm not throwing away my bots. So I love you so much, and I love the way you love my daughter. So here's to Alec Bots.
I know in 50 years, they'll wake up as a bunch of old people and they'll go and they'll get breakfast. It won't be great, it'll be pretty good. They won't have to wait long, and so that'll be a plus. And you know, the coffee will be served right away, so Bots will be happy. And it doesn't give him a tummy ache, so he's happy about that too. And then they'll go on a walk where Molly will gasp really dramatically at everything that excites her like a dog, or everything that scares her like a bumblebee. And then at the end of the day, they'll go home and they'll curl up on the couch, and Bots will turn on WWE Monday Night Raw. And Molly will open her disintegrating copy of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and Bots will look at her and he'll say, "I still love you," and Molly will say, "Always."
I've been madly in love with you for 7 years, and I'm so incredibly blessed that you chose to be my wife. I hope you always remember that there is nothing worth sharing that good love, but let us share it in. I love you. Did I do okay?
From the power invested in me and the state of Oregon, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. And now introducing for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Bots.